Hi there. We're so excited to see that you're interested in studying abroad. The Office of Study Abroad at Brandeis is here as a resource for you along this journey, and we're really excited to be a part of this as you research, prepare, depart, and return from your time studying abroad.
My name's Ashley Trebasacci, and I am an Assistant Director of Study Abroad at Brandeis.
And my name is Ari Kramer. I'm the other Assistant Director of Study Abroad at Brandeis. And along with Alicia Cardwell, our Director, and Erica Martinson, our Senior Department Coordinator, we're very excited to be a part of this process as you get started.
So the first thing that we want to do is to think about, why are you even here and watching this video? Why do you even want to consider studying abroad? So you can study abroad for a variety of different reasons, and it's going to look differently and be different motivations for every student who approaches the process. So here are some reasons why people might want to study abroad. One could be to gain a new perspective on your major or your minor, to increase your knowledge of other cultures and living and immersing yourself in other cultures and other locations, enhancing your language learning or learning a new language, developing your independence, your adaptability, and your problem-solving skills by being on your own in a new place. Exploring and living in a new place could be another motivation just for you to want to explore and get out there. And it also could help you become more attractive candidate to graduate schools and employers as well if you have international experience or you've done something interesting by studying or interning abroad.
As you consider your options for studying abroad, it's important to think about what you can do abroad. The breadth and variety of study abroad opportunities at Brandeis and around the world is quite vast, and we're here to help you think about some of these options as you decide what would be the best fit for you. Some people study at an international university. They live on campus. They take classes with local students. But that's not the only way to study abroad. A lot of people will complete field research. They'll participate on a small program studying a specific subject area. Many programs have internship opportunities, and you can do an internship in a professional work setting alongside your classes. That is a two birds, one stone situation. You gain academic credit and you gain that practical and professional experience that Ashley was talking about. Every student who studies abroad takes at least one course in the local language, and world language study is, of course, a very important part of your overall curriculum at Brandeis, as well as your opportunity to study abroad. And many students choose to live with a local family to gain a new perspective, to gain that local perspective. And many of these options will be a part of your study abroad experience, but not all of them. And these are some of the important considerations as you decide what study abroad program and opportunity is going to be the right one for you.
So the next step when you're thinking about how do I go about this process is to, after you've thought a little bit about what you might want from your experience or the reasons why you're considering study abroad, is then to go and research some of Brandeis's approved programs. So every student who studies abroad at Brandeis for academic credit goes on one of the programs that's been approved by Brandeis. Luckily for you, there are options in 58 countries, over 150 programs, so there's lots to choose from. You can find the approved program list at our website, www.brandeis.edu/abroad, and through there you can find a database where you can narrow down your options based on location, language, major, and other areas that might be important to you, so you can hone down that really long list to see what might be the best options for you.
And as you're researching your study abroad opportunities, we would encourage you to take an extra special look at our Brandeis Run study abroad programs. Brandeis owns and operates 3 study abroad programs for Brandeis students around the world. One we run in partnership with the Economics Department in Copenhagen. One we run in partnership with HSP, Health Science, Society and Policy in Merida, Mexico. And one we run in partnership with Fine Arts in Siena, Italy. And these are small cohorts of Brandeis students, often accompanied by Brandeis faculty members or under the supervision of Brandeis faculty members, as an opportunity to take Brandeis courses over the summer in a unique international location.
So building off of that, another thing to consider is that you are studying abroad not only to be in a new place, but also to study. So thinking through the connection that it's going to be making to your academics at Brandeis, how you want to build upon what you're already doing here or get a different perspective on what you want to learn while you're at university. So All majors and minors at Brandeis can and do study abroad. You can earn credit towards either a major, a minor, or also to core requirements. So if you're looking for that humanities or science course or something like that, that can also be an option for you. Most students will fulfill some major or minor electives while they're abroad, but the approval does depend on the individual course you're choosing, and that is completely up to the department where you're hoping to earn credit. So in the application process, you will talk to faculty in your major and minor departments to say, these are the types of courses that I'm hoping to take during my study abroad experience. How might that translate back to Brandeis or count towards a major or minor? When you go abroad for a semester, you can earn up to 16 credits for taking a full load, or if you study abroad during the summer, you can earn up to 8 credits.
And as you're thinking about where, how, and when you want to study abroad, it's also important to think about the other aspects of a study abroad program and of you as an individual studying abroad that may factor into the decisions that you make. It's important to think about things like language learning, your own personal identity, the location, where you've been, where you haven't been, where you might want to go. Many different programs will have different structures, different levels of support. And we would encourage you and work with you to think about the levels of support that you take advantage of at Brandeis, that you utilize in your own life, and how you may want to see those levels of support translated on your study abroad program. Things like academic accommodations, mental health support resources, as well as general physical health and safety resources are things that we would encourage you to think about whether they apply to you, and have a conversation with your advisor in our office and your study abroad program about how those things may or may not be accessible on a particular study abroad program so that we can make it the safest and most comfortable experience for you. And as we'll talk about in a minute, we also encourage you to have a conversation early and often about the financial aspects of studying abroad.
So there are some eligibility requirements to keep in mind when you're thinking about a study abroad experience. For the semester and year, they are different than if you were applying for a summer study abroad. So I'll go through the basics of both. So if you're thinking of applying for a semester or academic year, you do need to have a 3.0 GPA. If you do not have that at this point, still make an appointment to talk to an advisor, and we can talk through your options with you, whether that's applying for summer or looking toward future experiences as well. It's definitely still worth meeting with us. You do have to be an academic and good academic and student conduct standing as well in order to study abroad. We will help you make sure you're going to be able to finish your university and your major requirements by graduation. You do have to have at least one declared major by the application deadline, which we'll go over later, in order to study abroad for the semester or year. We know some majors, there is an application process. So if that's a situation for you and you haven't declared your major for that reason yet, we'll talk to you about that. You also have to be a member of the junior class or a first semester senior when you study abroad, and agree to return to campus for one semester after you study abroad. There also are some language requirements. So as Ari mentioned, every student who studies abroad in a place where English is not the majority language will take at least one language in that course, or one course in that language while they're there. However, if you are planning to go somewhere where the majority language is French, Italian, Spanish, or Hebrew, fish, then you have to have completed at least 2 semesters through the 20 level at Brandeis before you study abroad in those places. And also individual programs will have different eligibility requirements, whether those are GPA requirements or language requirements or prerequisite courses that you need to have taken before you enroll in certain things. So we'll help you figure out, based on the program you're interested in, what that will look like for you. For the summer, it's a bit easier. There are no Brandeis eligibility requirements, no GPA requirement. You do not have to have a declared major, but programs will have their own eligibility criteria. So as you're choosing your program, we'll take a look at what those eligibility criteria are. And as Ari mentioned before, finances is a really important thing to think about. I think there is a misconception that only students who are not on financial aid or who do not receive scholarships or other aid will be able to go abroad, and that is just not true. So there is a short video where we go through how the finances work for study abroad, what it will mean for you in terms of who you pay for tuition versus housing, and how your financial aid and scholarships can transfer with you when you go abroad, particularly during the semester. There are also lots and lots of scholarship opportunities to apply for, and we will remind you of those throughout the year and help you figure out what you're eligible for based on your identity, the program that you're going to, your financial need level, and all of that. So there are ways to defray the cost of studying abroad.
As you're continuing this process, it's important for you to know that there are a number of resources that you can access, support that you can have as you think about your options. First and foremost, obviously, is the staff in the Office of Study Abroad, Ashley, myself, and the rest of our colleagues. We also have a team of study abroad ambassadors, returned study abroad students who would be more than happy to meet with you, talk about their experiences, and brainstorm ideas for yours. Your faculty are an excellent resource. They have likely worked with many study abroad students at the department over the past years, and they would be very happy to talk to you about ways that they've seen students succeed academically abroad, and some things to look out for as you prepare. As well as other support staff on campus. Your academic advisor is a very important person to talk to about course planning and that progress towards graduation. You can always talk to program staff, so not just Ashley and myself, the staff in the Office of Study Abroad, but the staff on site at these programs where you're eligible to go, as well as our website, the program websites. And the last resource on this list, but certainly not the last resource that I would think of, is your family, your relatives, your friends, people who support you in your life. And who you talk to about important decisions are very important people to involve in this conversation early and often, to the extent that you're comfortable, as you make the really big decision about leaving the country where you're going to school and going to study somewhere new for a semester or a year.
So of course, there is a deadline for studying abroad, and you need to apply by that deadline in order to be eligible for the experience. So the March prior to the summer academic year, fall semester or spring semester that you want to study abroad will be your deadline. So if you are looking to study abroad the summer after your sophomore year, you must apply by the March of your sophomore year. If you're looking to go abroad as a junior, whether that's fall or spring, you must apply by the March of your sophomore year. There will be lots of reminders about this, and you'll see it around campus, but we have one deadline to try to keep that easy for you to remember, and you'll hear from us throughout the year with reminders about that. But the main thing to know is that you want to start the process early, and the earlier you can start researching, the earlier you can start making an appointment or talking to ambassadors, the better prepared you'll be to be done by that March deadline.
So as you start thinking about your application, about your deadline, and the next steps in this process, the next video for you to watch that Ashley mentioned before is Study Abroad Finances in 4 minutes. And we would encourage you to do that and come back to us, come back to the staff and Student Financial Services if you have questions about your individual financial situation. There's a questionnaire in your study abroad account for you to fill out, the Advising and Goals questionnaire. That's to help you reflect a little bit on what you're looking for in a study abroad experience, and also to help us prepare, because the next step is going to be for you to meet with your advisor in the Office of Study Abroad. And we want to be able to know what we should prepare in advance of talking to you in terms of programs, in terms of expectations, so that we can help you make the most of that meeting. Before that meeting, you can definitely start researching programs on our website, on the approved programs list, and we'll look forward to when you schedule that meeting with your advisor in the office, so that we can talk to you directly about your interests, about your desires, and how we can help you achieve them. When you know the program that you're applying to, you'll start your study abroad application, and your advisor in the office will help you do that, walk through the next steps of the application, including your course proposal, the essays, other things that you need to do on your application in order to have a successful application. And like Ashley said, you'll need to submit that application by the deadline, which is one deadline for the entire upcoming year. So the March prior to when you want to study abroad is when you'll be submitting that application. That's it from me. Ashley, is there anything else that you wanted to add?
That's all. Thanks so much for watching, and we look forward to meeting you soon.